One, two, three. Hello guys, how are you doing today? Nice, okay. How many of you actually doing music, sound producing? Show your hands. Okay, not a lot of people, okay. So today I will teach you how you can make easily soundtracks by your own, which you can also use not only at Game Jam, also for sound design companies, for yourself, for artists, and etc., because it's easily the easiest template for everything in music. So, yeah, lecture review. I will start with introduction. Why do we need music? A little info about myself again. How to start, which materials you can use, which programs. DAW, it's basically a sound station. Middleware is basically also a sound station, but applies to your Unity engine. Also about plugins, it's instruments in our sound making programs. Ways of making music, pretty tips, how you can easily start and don't make any mistakes. Also structure, it's about introduction, chorus, hooks, etc. Also about drums, because it's also really important to have groove in your music. A little of music theory, basically how you can easily, by my studies, make little melody. But again, I'm not a music teacher, I'm a sound designer. Also mixing and mastering tips, how you can your mix sound better. Also how to find people who will need your music and even play your games. And also bonus knowledge about pretty useful YouTube links and materials. So let's start. So who am I? I'm again Martin. I work in music normally about 5 years and started doing music for video games about 3 years ago. I also work with big artists, again was in Tommy Cash video, work with also local famous people like Valgi Tudruk, yeah, etc., etc. I also do sound mostly for indie games, and I have experience also DJing and live performances. So why sound is important? Basically without sound, like our even music without music, even cinema, even games will be very boring. Again, you can make your game without music, but listener and player won't understand which emotion you wanted to give him, and it will be really boring. Basically, this game will be mostly for technical guys and for some nerds, not for everybody. So, music is the strongest form of magic we got. So, special place, special sound, basically the most common mistakes in sound designers. They just start off adding some sounds which sometimes sound groovy and cool, but they don't fit into the game. For example, you see a lot of TikToks of ships drowning and I don't know, some scary monsters, but if you change music, not too scary, and I don't know, some funny commercial music, it will be really not the same effect. Again, one of the most favorite examples, one of the most famous examples of bad soundtrack is mentioned Basement in Resident Evil. You can listen to it later. Also a lot of rap artists right now, like Lil Pump, Lil Uzi, they're trying to switch again not into their genre, and again it sounds really bad. So the same with games. So here's little tips about which genres you can make on separate games genres. So if you're making indie, basically it can be everything, because indie it's called independent games, independent music artists also. So basically it can be anything, but sometimes it's pretty simple. It can be 8-bit music, it can be something with less instrument. After that we got action, it's shooters, it's fighting. Basically we're using here electronic music and rock music, which also have like this groovy and hard basses, hard style. And for platformers they're basically also action music, and can be 8-bit music, which can easily make in free DAWs and in free engines. Also we got simulator music, which usually is commercial and also pretty simple music to use. And for RPG we got orchestral and classical. This one also in the end of list because it's the most difficult music to make. So how to start? Basically, if you want to make music and record it into the games, you need to download DAW, which is again sound station. For example, free ones is Reaper, which is also often used in some sound designing outsourced firms. If you don't have a computer, you can use GarageBand, which is also pretty easy to use and pretty, you have like it in every iPhone. And paid one, Ableton, is one of the most powerful ones. It's common goes on MacBooks, and like you can put a lot of plugins in your channel that your DAW won't crash. Again, also you got Cubase, which is mostly for recording voiceovers and your sound. And FL Studio is basically one of the most easiest one, made mostly for electronic music and hip-hop. Middleware, we have Vice and F mode. And for plugins, free one, I recommend you Vital, which is similar to Serum. It's mostly for making electronic music. We got Labs, which is mostly for orchestral and for live instrument. Pretty recommended. Paid one, we got Omnisphere, which is mostly about ambient sound. Contact, which also one of the most professional plugin, which used for, again, orchestra and live music. We got Serum, which is made for electronic music. And drums, pretty much, this way to have free drums is just you type free drum kit, free sound, bam, bam. But before the launch is that you need to read caption. Is it like free to use? If it's not, and paid one, I definitely recommend Cinematics because they have like all genres and all good orchestral sounds. And firstly, how I recommend you to start. When you're just starting off with a program, I recommend you to use all pre-made melodies, all pre-loved drums. When you, I don't know, just downloaded it, because with this method you will easily understand how your DAW is working and how you can play around in it. After that, I recommend you to start switching to making your own drums, because it's also one of the easiest part of music. Is basically just making your drums on the grind. After that, you can, when you're done with drums, when you like pretty solid with it, you can start by making your own melody. It's a lot of also YouTube tutorials how you can do it. And after that, record your own vocals. So drums basically is the most essential part of our soundtrack, because it gave us a groove, and drums was the whole time long of our human history, and it's the basics of basics. And so how to start it? Basically, you need to decide in which genre you're making it, and switch and decide which drums you want to use. After that, you decide the tempo. For example, in lo-fi music, it's around 80 to 100 BPM, and if you're making some rock or techno, it's around 160 BPM. After that, how I made it, I'm basically putting snare on each 8 step just to give it a little groove and it repeating, because after that you can build your kicks on it. Kicks also is one of the grooving part of our drums, which is also giving us a groove and like this low sound of this low rhythm. And after that, when you're done with your kicks and drums and kicks, you can have percussion, which is also giving us a little of rhythm. Little of melody theory. Basically, if you want to write a melody, you need to decide which scale to do, minor or major. Minor is mostly for sad music and for something dramatic, and major is for more melodic music and more funny kind music. And our melody consists of 7 notes again, and distance between our notes is semi-notes. We got whole tones, semitone and tone. Basically, whole tone is distance in 1 note, and semi-note is distance of 0 notes, basically. And notes also have sizes like whole, half, quarter, 8, 16. And how it works in our DAW, you can see. So right here is the distance of our notes. So if you skip in one, it's whole note, and here is semi-note. And here is also, you can see here, for example, whole note is half note, and smaller, it's 8th note and 16th note. So here's easy scale, how you can build it. For minor one, we skip in whole note, semi-note, whole, semi, whole. You can, I don't know, take a picture, just remember it by watching live stream, but it's basically how we're doing it. After you build it, it can be from C note, D note, etc. And you can mute it and build it around here. And for major scale, it's whole, semi, whole, semi again. You don't need to remember it, you can watch stream, but basically it's how I'm doing it. So when you're done with it, we already have some melodic loop, which can be pretty repetitive if you keep it like that. So that's why to make engagement, we need to make a structure. So our structure starts with introduction. Basically, it's 5 to 3 seconds, which leading us to understanding which melody we got, which soundtrack we got. It's just saying hi to our listener, to leading him to what happening next. After that, we got chorus, we got verse, which is pretty common part of the song. Is basically not the hardest one, but not the beginning of it. We got our listener feeling of it. It's around 30 to 60 seconds. After that, we having chorus or hook, which is also around 1 minute. Basically, it's one of the most hardest and most grooving part of our music. We just catching his attention and making him, dance or be attracted to our song. After that, again, can be verse or bridge. Bridge is mostly also preparing for another hook. After that, we again got hook, which is also catching attention of our listener. After that, we got outro, basically ending our song in good way and saying goodbyes to our listener. It's around 5 to 30 seconds. So quite of mixing. When you're done with your structure, drums and melody, now we go into the mixing. Mixing consists of sound balance, equalizing, compressing, saturation, reverberation, distortion, etc. So here is a little overview with little guidelines. So sound balance is basically when you're making our sound on same level. Basically, we don't need our drums to sound too loud, melody too loud. Basically, we need to balance so none part of your track taking all the attention. So that's why we need sound balance. After that, for example, if a melody gets some little harsh vocal, we can equalize it. Basically, for example, if our melody gets a lot of basses, we can just work with equalizer at basically around 20 decibel. This is our bass, and we can cut it out with equalizer. And again, if we have a lot of highs, we can do the same stuff, but on 20k decibels. Here's how it looks like in real life. You can see, because all the plugins is in our computer's imitation of real life plugins. After that, we got compression. Basically, we're making our music and our notes sound in the same level, so it won't hurt our ear. And basically, compressor is making this unveils sound a little bit boxy and looking a bit boxy. So next mixing tips. We can saturate our sound, which basically making it a bit warmer, making it a bit better for our ear. Also, we got reverberation, which is sound of room or ambience, which is basically making our mix bigger or have some space on it. Delay is basically repeating of our melody, but by plugin and making it a bit of echo. And distortion, we all know it's basically making our bass drums sound harsher and more punchy and more dirty. And after that, we got end mastering. Basically, we put all our sounds together on one channel, one track, and mixing it and sounding it better in mix. So networking tips. Basically, if you made already a melody, you can keep it in your, somewhere in high drive, but it's better to put it out also in games, because I see a lot of musicians, they just put in our music by themselves, so I'm doing for myself, but you can also sell it sometimes or use somewhere. For example, in real life, I'd recommend you to go to game dev meetups for job opportunities, for meeting new people, for also finding clients if you're selling music. Also, good one is studio camps if you need some advice and mentoring. We got Helix Sound Camp, which is very good in Tallinn, and Sound Desk. And also chilling, also going to concerts where you can also meet a lot of same-minded people. And in internet, it can be Discord for meeting people about and having sound calls. Reddit is basically for advices and some links to free plugins. LinkedIn, job opportunities. And TikTok just basically recommend you to post yourself, so you also will be noticed. And networking tips, again, here is a little overview where you can go. Helix Studio, Moby Dictum, and here is going also for some vacation trips. And be creative, yes, guys. If you want to be a creative person, you need to listen to different genres, to try other game dev spheres, to not to burn out and see where you can also fit, and get out of your comfort zone, making little lives, meeting new people, try to push yourself. And be creative, yes, taking breaks, be respectful, motivate yourself, because it's important to take breaks, even in game dev, not to just burn out. And yeah, be respectful, meaning just you never know what people can achieve, and basically you can build yourself together, be a team, and motivate yourself and others. And useful materials, if you want to learn sound design, definitely recommended to watch Vice 101 course. It's about how to use middleware and put your sound into a game. Simon Servida, I also watch him. He is good, have good music theory and good advices on also how to build many different genres. And Genius Deconstructed or similar Search is basically, it's better way to learn from each other when person is deconstructing music you like and you see how it was done step by steps. And yeah, manuals basically inside of DAWs and many game engines also is manuals how to use this engine or this plugin and etc. Or if you bought a real life plugin. Yes, a little overview of it. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you for your attention. Here's my socials if you want to. Yeah, thank you guys.